AITA, for telling my entire family to leave when they showed up to my wedding? Me M27 and my wife F36 got married 2 ago. I have a 10-year stepson. We have an incredibly strong bond. My wife is my whole world. I met her 2/5 of a year ago. She recently moved to my hometown. That's when I officially introduced her to my family and friends and announced our wedding date. My family, especially Mom, didn't take the news well. They didn't believe I was being serious. They called me crazy and refused to hear me out when I tried to explain. Didn't give my wife the chance to show them who she is. They've seen her as less than. Before the wedding, my mom sent me an email with a list of reasons why she thought I was making a mistake. 1. Age gap. 2. The fact I'm a doctor and my wife's childcare worker. 3. The fact she has a son. 4. No one in town knows her. 5. She's not good looking nor attractive and Lord knows what else. But none of this mattered to me. I could make a list of 100 reasons why she's the one for me. Mom and family found wife's Facebook and started leaving nasty comments on every picture I'm in, accusing her of stealing, fooling their son, called her manipulative and a user. Mom said I'm not her son anymore. Called everyone I invited telling them to not show up at the wedding. Saying my family aren't approving of it. Wife and I were devastated after we got calls and emails from guests we've invited saying they won't come. We've put work and money for a venue, food, etc. I felt terrible when I saw my wife crying while looking at all the returned invitations. We decided to just have the wedding at my place with a few of our friends and wife's side of family. At the wedding, my brother-in-law approached me saying my family arrived and they were at the door. I was shocked. I saw Mom, Dad, sisters and aunts standing there saying they wanted to come celebrate with me but not my wife. They still didn't want to deal with her. I felt enraged. I told them they weren't allowed inside and that they needed to leave right then. My dad started berating me, calling me disrespectful for how I repay them for being graceful and deciding to come to my wedding. I started arguing with him and Mom, telling them I'd call the police if they won't leave. My aunt called me a jerk for mentioning the police and said a good person doesn't treat family like that. They left after minutes of arguing. Friends saw that and said I went too far with how I handled this and shouldn't have told my family to leave after they finally showed up to support me. They said I ruined my own wedding being resentful, not letting this drop. My grandfather was mad since he arranged for my family to come and said I messed up by making a scene and not letting my family to come in. Blamed and shamed me for what I did and said I now owe them an apology. Not the asshole. Did these people think that your wife would leave or fade into the woodwork, while they celebrated with you? The whole group is totally clueless to think that they can denigrate your wife and call her names and then still show up for your wedding. Not the asshole. I wouldn't have just threatened, I'd have called the cops and called them all trespassers, because that's precisely what they were doing. I love how shiny your spine is for your new family. Please cut off your old family. Block them on everything. No mail, email, texts, calls or social media. No in-person contact. Why? Your family made your wedding about them, not you. Them showing up and creating their drama was to prove some narcissistic point about your wife. Be aware they will attempt more drama at your home. Please get cameras for your property that record sound in the video. Feel free to share on RJUSTNOFAMILY because ding ding ding, you've won a prize for the most toxic family today. Good luck. Stay strong. Ignore those jerks. Edit to add, not the asshole. Not the asshole. Go full NC. What they did was hurtful and wicked. Congratulations on your wedding. Not the asshole. They didn't come to support y'all. They flat out said they wanted nothing to do with your wife. At your wedding, you're a package deal. They either approve and can come in or they don't and can't. Simple. What the hell? Not the asshole. Your family wanted to support only you. But when you get married you become a two-person package, aka if you want talk to one you want talk to the other. Not the asshole. They came because they could not handle the shame of people knowing they were not at your wedding. None of it was about supporting you in any way. Not the asshole. A good person wouldn't treat family like that. Your aunt and rest of the mob treated your wife and stepson, e.g. family, like dirt. Good for you standing your ground and keeping them out so you could celebrate with the real good people. Info: I met her 2/5 of a year ago. There's a big difference between 2 and 5, which one is it? It doesn't really matter, you're definitely not the asshole, but Jute thought this was an odd way of putting it. FAAAAAAAKE. Not the asshole. They intentionally sabotaged your wedding day. My little brother tried the same shit. He's dead to me now. You made the right call. Don't let them worm their way in if any grandchildren show up either. They made their choice. Not the asshole. Mom said I'm not her son anymore. So, she made yourself a complete stranger to you. It's reasonable to expect strangers who you didn't invite and who sabotaged your wedding to be away. Your friends who told you that you went too far either don't know the whole picture or not your friends at all. Not the asshole, you cannot celebrate on only one side of a wedding. It's a joining together. Quite the story. Not the asshole, I would not describe any of your family's behavior as graceful. You don't show up to a wedding and announce that you don't want to deal with the bride who they've been harassing and cyber-bullying literally since they found out she exists. JFC, your mom disowned you, then had staged a boycott on your wedding, then had the audacity to show up at your door unannounced with your entire family. I can't imagine she had an intention other than ruining the wedding for your wife. If your happiness was a concern, you wouldn't have gotten a list of everything they think is wrong with your wife, which was super vain and elitist by the way. At this point, they've made it clear they have no business being a part of your, or your new family's, lives. Not the asshole. And #X200B. Friends saw that and said I went too far with how I handled this and shouldn't have told my family to leave after they finally showed up to support me. They weren't showing up to support you, though. They wanted to exclude your wife from her own wedding celebration. That's not support, that's sabotage. For your own sake and your wife's sake, I'd recommend NC. And keep in mind that restraining orders are a thing, just in case. Congrats on the happy marriage. Not the asshole. A wedding is about two people committing their lives together. If they weren't there to support the marriage in its entirety, which includes wife, then they have no business being there. Congratulations, and I wish you, wife, stepson and in-laws a lifetime of joy and wonderful memory making. A good person doesn't treat family like that. But you are a good person, because you aren't treating your family, wife, stepson, like that. You're treating a horde of inconsiderate moist fungus cakes like that. Don't apologize to those fungus cakes. They owe you the apology. More, if you're feeling graceful, they owe your wife an apology. Kudos to your brother-in-law for not just letting them in, like a lot of people might. I didn't want to cause a scene on your wedding day, bro, sort of thing. The fungus cakes from Gramps on down are the jerks. Honorable mention goes to your friends who really should learn to keep their traps shut on what constitutes ruining your wedding. You, your wife, your stepson, your brother-in-law, you all are not the asshole. Info: I met her 2/5 of a year ago. 25 years when you were 2? 0.4 years? Either 2 or 5 years? Not the asshole. Sounds more than reasonable given the circumstances. Not the asshole. Your relatives are not your family. Go no contact on every one of them. Congrats on finding love. Info: has there been any other altercations with your wife and your family? Something feels like it's missing here. Are you part of the British royal family? Not the asshole. Your family, on the other hand. The age gap thing is hypocritical, especially here on this subreddit, though. The same women saying there's no issues with the age gap here, are the same women that call 30-year-old guys creepy and gross for marrying 20-year-old women. You were not in the wrong. Your family disrespected your wife and did not want anything to do with her but want to show up at the wedding like nothing is wrong? I don't think so. Not the asshole. Question: what country is this that you're a doctor at 27? Not the asshole. They didn't come to support you or your wife. If they stayed, I guarantee they would have caused more problems and made your wife's and your special day miserable. Sharing DNA with someone doesn't give them a free pass to abuse those you love, and good on you for standing up to them. Congratulations on your wedding, and I wish you and your family all the happiness. Not the asshole. Your family are such assholes. How do you only celebrate half a wedding? NTA. Wow, is this real? Sheesh. One question: do you mean 2/5 of a year? Like 4-5 months? That confused me. That said, I think you're not the asshole. Does your family have a history of shitty treatment? I'm a little bit confused by the whole thing, to be honest, though. I feel like someone should be supportive of you. Very strange situation. There has got to be more to this story. I wish I could hear the other side. Not the asshole. What family? Mom said I'm not her son anymore. Called everyone I invited telling them to not show up at the wedding. Saying my family aren't approving of it. Seems like if you are disowned they can't be family. Not the asshole. Love is such a gift, and your family should be happy for you, and support you. You're not a teenager anymore, you're almost 30, and yet they're treating you like a child. I hope you and your wife and stepson have a beautiful, happy life together. Purple Heart. Not the asshole. Sorry, your family seems toxic AF. The whole family came to say fuck you to your wife. How dare you be so rude to them? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. And good on you for standing up for your wife. You could have fought them and still been not the asshole. A good person doesn't treat family members' fiancé like this. Never giving her a chance. Seeing her as beneath them. Looking down on childcare workers. Looking down on her having a son already. Put down her looks. Disowning a son because he goes ahead with marrying fiancé. Intentionally ruin the wedding by calling people not to attend. Having the gall to attend after all and ruin hers and your what sounds like a really nice, more intimate wedding. Not the asshole in any way. Cut them toxic people out. Granddad too for facilitating it. Obviously you would be not the asshole if this was real, which this obviously is not. Not the asshole, and for the love of God stay far away from your family. They sound completely unhinged. 1 to 9 years is not a massive age gap. My aunt and uncle have 15 years gap between them. They have now been married for 18 years. 2. Who cares what her job is? 3. A lot of people have kids and are single parents for many reasons. 4. Again, who gives a damn if nobody in town knows her? 5. She could look like an orange blob of alien goo intent on enslaving the human race. She would be better than your family. Not the asshole. Your family made it very clear they didn't support you nor your wife. They harassed her online, made attempts to ruin your wedding by phoning guests and telling them not to show up, and your mother went as far to say you are no longer her son. Not only that, they had the audacity to show up at your wedding that they insisted they didn't support. The wedding that you had to adjust because of their behavior, and then demand an apology after you set very reasonable boundaries. If anyone is owed an apology, it would be you and your wife. Not the asshole. I think I'd have probably cracked up at a good person doesn't treat family like that. That's the winning line. What is 2/5 of a year ago? Not the asshole. Not even remotely. They say that a good person wouldn't treat family the way you treated them, but they were unwilling to accept their new family members. Massively hypocritical, and they all owe you an apology. Even if they did realize the error of their ways, they don't deserve your forgiveness. Look, I generally hate it when people jump on "am I the asshole" threads and just paint everything as fake, but like. For real? This story is absolute poppycock from start to finish. Not the asshole. Mom, Dad, sisters and aunts standing there saying they wanted to come celebrate with me but not my wife. Hell no. They don't deserve to be at the wedding if they don't support the couple getting married. Your friend and grandfather are wrong. I think you should consider relocating with your wife, away from these toxic people. Maybe you can live somewhere closer to your in-laws? Does your wife's family treat you better than yours treats her? Not the asshole. They went out of their way to tell people not to come to your wedding, tried to get you to not marry your wife and treated your wife and stepson who are your family horribly. They don't get to just brush all that aside by showing up unannounced to your wedding and then doubling down on their bullshit by stating they are only there to celebrate you. That is not how weddings work, and that is not how good people or family treat each other. Your aunt should take her own advice. Not the asshole. TBH, your wife is an extremely lucky woman that she has such a supportive partner in her life. She has someone who will have her back, and, to quote Juno, think the sun shines out of her butt no matter what. I feel extremely sorry for your family. They're missing out on seeing you happy and sharing in your joy. They won't get this time in your life back. A parent's job is not to force their child to live the truth they hold. It's to encourage your child to journey through the world with the confidence that have a safe space to land, after instilling them with tools to help them cope with whatever life throws at them. Congratulations on your wedding. I pray you and your wife are extremely happy together and love the truth you have in your hearts.